Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's totally reshaping how businesses operate, business analytics. And look, let's just forget the buzzwords for a second. Think of this as the new compass, the tool you need to find your way in a pretty chaotic business world. We're going to break down exactly how it works. So let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like the business world is just a complete whirlwind of change? 1 minute a strategy is golden, and the next, poof, it's totally obsolete. It's a really common feeling, and believe it or not, there's actually a name for all that chaos. Right. That chaos, it has a name. Experts call it a VUCA world, and it's just this perfect little acronym that nails the constant challenges that businesses and honestly all of us are up against these days. So VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Let's make that real. Think about something as simple as bottled water. I mean, it used to just be water in a bottle, right? But now you've got filtered, purified, Himalayan, alkaline water, you name it. This explosion of choice, well, that creates volatility in what people buy. It creates uncertainty about what they'll want tomorrow. It adds a ton of complexity to the supply chain, and there's total ambiguity about which new trend is actually going to stick. See? That's VUCA, right there in the water aisle. Okay, so how on earth do you find clarity in a world like that? How do you make a smart call when everything feels like it's shifting under your feet? Well, the answer is to take all that chaos, all that data, and turn it into a clear, usable signal. And that is where business analytics comes in. But what does that actually mean? In plain English, it means taking all the noise, all that messy, raw data that's flying around, and finding the one clean signal inside it. This isn't just about making pretty reports. No way. The entire point is to find a competitive edge, make a smarter decision, and, well, to win. Gartner's definition here really nails it with two key words, continuous and iterative. And this is so important to get. Analytics is not some project you do once and then you're done. It's a constant loop. You're always exploring, always investigating, always trying to stay one step ahead. Okay, so how does this whole journey from raw data to a smart decision actually play out? Well, it happens in 4 really logical stages, and each one builds directly on the one before it. Let's break them down.
Think of this as a kind of ladder of insight. At the bottom, you're just figuring out, okay, what happened? Then you climb a rung to understand, why did that happen? From there, you can start to predict what's going to happen next. And at the very top, the ultimate prize, a clear data-backed answer to what should we do about it. It's a super powerful path from hindsight to true foresight.
All right, first step on the ladder, descriptive analytics. This is your foundation. It's basically your rearview mirror. All it does is summarize what's already happened. There's no interpretation here, it's just the cold, hard facts. Who, what, when, where. So for example, a descriptive report might spit out a simple fact like this. Video game console sales shot up in November and December. That's it. We know what happened. Which of course leads to the next big question, why? And to answer that why, we climb to the next stage, diagnostic analytics. This is where you get your hands dirty. You start drilling down into the data to find the root cause behind what you just saw. And here's how we might find that why. So we dig a little deeper, and we notice something interesting. The consoles were bought by adults, say 35 to 55 years old. But the user profiles being set up on those consoles, they're for kids. And that's the aha moment. The sales spike wasn't just random. It was driven by parents buying holiday gifts. Okay, so now we know what happened and why it happened. This is where things get really cool. We can now shift our focus from the past to the future using predictive analytics. We're taking all that historical data, feeding it into powerful machine learning models, and making a really educated guess about what's coming down the pike. And here's the payoff. We can take that holiday gift buying pattern and use it to forecast sales for the next holiday season with pretty good accuracy. And this same idea applies everywhere, right? From predicting which way the stock market might move to figuring out if a loan applicant is likely to pay it back. But look, a prediction is just a signpost pointing down a road. The final stage, the most valuable one of all, is prescriptive analytics. This doesn't just point you in a direction, it actually draws the map for you. It tells you the exact actions to take to get the best possible outcome. So building on our sales forecast, a prescriptive model could recommend exactly how many consoles to have in stock so you meet demand but don't overorder. Or maybe it suggests the perfect discount to offer to maximize your profit during that holiday rush. It gives you clear, specific, data-driven instructions. So what's actually powering this incredible journey from data to decision? Let's pop the hood and take a quick look at the core technologies that make all of this possible. First up, let's clear up a really common point of confusion: the difference between business intelligence, or BI, and business analytics, BA. The easiest way to think about it is this. BI is mostly about looking in that rearview mirror. It's the dashboards telling you what happened. Business analytics is the whole shebang. It includes that, but it also looks forward with predictive and prescriptive analytics. Okay, so inside the engine room, you've got these three key tools working together. First, you have data mining. Think of this as a detective, just sifting through mountains of data looking for hidden clues and patterns. Then you have machine learning, which is like the brain. It takes those clues and actually learns from them, getting smarter and more accurate over time. But none of that is any good if you can't understand what it's telling you. And that's where data visualization comes in. Because visualization takes all that complex data and turns it into something you can understand in a split second. A giant, scary spreadsheet just becomes a simple bar charts. And boom, you can instantly see which region is performing best. And a complicated competitive analysis becomes this clean donut chart, letting you see the whole market share picture in a single glance. That is the incredible power of making data visual. You get answers almost instantly. So let's bring it all home. Why does any of this matter? What's the ultimate payoff? It's about creating real, tangible value and building a competitive advantage that can actually last right across the whole organization. And believe me, this isn't just theory. Look at how it drives value in the real world. This stuff doesn't live in just one department. You see that work when a company like Apple figures out how to identify and hang on to its most profitable customers, or when Asian Paints completely streamlines its supply chain. From HR to product quality, analytics is the engine that's driving better performance everywhere. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one thought. In the world we live in now, every single click, every purchase, every interaction, it's all generating data. Your data is constantly talking. It's telling a story, it's dropping clues, it's revealing opportunities. The only question left is, are you listening? Thanks for joining The Explainer.